Just recently, Forbes dropped its list of America's most powerful women in sports. A 25-woman roster designed to showcase those who are not just excelling in their respective fields, but actively redefining the business, culture, and influence of athletics. And what immediately sent shockwaves through fans, analysts, and players alike was the inclusion of Caitlin Clark at number 4, a recognition that at once celebrated her meteoric rise from record-breaking college sensation to early WNBA dominance and underscored the seismic shift happening in how female athletes are valued in the modern sports ecosystem, because Caitlin's rookie season with the Indiana Fever reportedly brought in an estimated $8.1 million in income, a sum bolstered by landmark endorsement deals with Nike, Wilson, and Gatorade, deals that not only provide financial power but signal a broader cultural recognition that women's sports are now a market capable of supporting multi-million-dollar contracts and long-term partnerships. And the reverberations of this announcement were felt instantly across the basketball world, with fans erupting online, media outlets dissecting every aspect of her career, and, unsurprisingly, some players, particularly Angel Reese, facing the subtle sting of envy. Because while Angel has meticulously built a highly visible, personality-driven brand marked by confidence, swagger, and viral social media presence with partnerships including Reebok, Coach, Amazon, and McDonald's, Caitlin's brand is about legacy, sustained influence, and strategic impact, highlighting the difference between being famous and being genuinely powerful, a distinction that Forbes' placement made abundantly clear, especially when considering Caitlin's global reach, record-breaking jersey sales, and ability to pull in millions of viewers for games from countries that previously barely registered women's basketball on the international sports radar, all of which exemplify a new kind of power where athletic performance intersects with cultural influence, market leverage, and long-term brand building. And this is why Forbes called her the spark setting women's sports on fire. Because Caitlin isn't just winning on the court, she is reshaping how audiences watch the game, how sponsors value athletes, and how executives negotiate contracts, all while quietly dominating without the social media theatrics, cryptic statements, or controversy that often accompanies modern stars, creating a stark contrast to Angel Reese, whose presence, though magnetic, often centers on personality and visibility rather than strategic influence. And this tension between the two has only intensified since their showdown in the 2023 NCAA Championship, with media narratives, fan debates, and social discourse framing them as almost perpetual rivals. Yet while Angel continues to trend and attract attention, Caitlin's trajectory signals something deeper, a move from fame to systemic power, where influence ripples across leagues, sponsorship deals, media coverage, and fan engagement, elevating not just herself but those around her, evidenced by her agent Aaron Caney, making Forbes' list at number 25, largely thanks to Caitlin's unprecedented impact, proving that her reach extends beyond individual achievement into shaping careers and business decisions. And this narrative isn't limited to basketball. In tennis, a similar paradigm shift is illustrated by Coco Gauff's recent Rolex deal, a partnership that not only cements her status as a global sports icon, but exemplifies how modern athletes are measured by influence, poise, and the capacity to attract legacy-level partnerships, highlighting a trend where brands no longer chase fleeting victories but invest in athletes whose story, discipline, and authenticity align with long-term vision. As Coco has done meticulously since defeating Venus Williams at age 15, building a persona that is equal parts relatable, aspirational, and marketable, culminating in a partnership that includes legacy initiatives like youth tennis programs and underscores the idea that true power lies in transcending performance to create cultural resonance. And the contrast with Aryna Sabalenka, who has navigated her career with raw emotion, grit, and fierce competitive fire while often feeling overlooked by media and sponsors, underscores the new reality. Skill alone is no longer enough. Visibility matters, but the combination of authenticity, strategic branding, and marketability defines global influence. And when Coco's Rolex announcement went viral, hitting millions of likes in mere hours,
It was more than a sponsorship. It was a cultural statement, a recognition that the modern era of women's sports prizes not just athletic dominance but the ability to inspire, connect, and create a legacy beyond the court, much like Caitlin Clark in basketball, whose influence ripples globally from NBA arenas to international fan bases, and even down to smaller ecosystem effects like merchandising, TV ratings, and brand partnerships, illustrating how modern female athletes are no longer limited by league revenue or historical bias, but are rewriting the rules of valuation, perception, and power. And the reactions across fan bases and media show that this shift comes with its own challenges, including envy, rivalry, and social discourse. Because when someone like Caitlyn quietly transforms the business while others chase visibility, it creates a cultural tension between performance driven influence and personality driven fame, a dynamic mirrored in tennis with Coco and Arena, where the calculated, poised, market savvy athlete becomes a model for enduring power while others continue to hustle in a moment to moment spotlight. And this evolution reflects a broader societal recognition that influence in sports is no longer only about championships, stats, or highlight reels, but about global reach, cultural resonance, business savvy, and the ability to elevate everyone around you, which is precisely why Caitlyn's rise is being celebrated as historic. Angel's brand continues to be strong but distinctly different in focus, and Coco's measured ascent to becoming a Rolex ambassador exemplifies how the modern athlete must balance skill, authenticity, and long-term strategy to truly dominate, while Arena's emotional, gritty path reminds us that legacy is built not just in deals but in perseverance and resilience. And when Forbes, Nike, Gatorade, Rolex, and other institutions validate these athletes, they are signaling a new standard of excellence, one where being powerful means creating change, influencing markets, inspiring audiences, commanding global attention, and leaving a legacy that reshapes how sports, fans, and culture interact. And as Caitlin Clark continues her WNBA career, breaking records, drawing millions of viewers, and attracting landmark sponsorships, and as Coco Gauff continues to transcend tennis with poise, influence, and legacy-driven partnerships, the landscape of women's sports is being irrevocably transformed. Where recognition, revenue, and influence converge, rivals navigate new definitions of success, and fans are witnessing an era where dominance is quiet, strategic, global, and enduring. And this is why the conversations around envy, rivalry, and comparison persist, not because talent is lacking, but because the metrics of success and power have evolved. Celebrating those who not only perform but redefine the game, inspire culture, and leave legacies that will influence generations to come, marking a new chapter in women's sports where Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Coco Gauff, Arena Sabalenka, and other pioneering athletes are showing that influence, impact, and strategic vision are the ultimate trophies, and that in this new era, being truly powerful means being a force of transformation both on and off the court, both in basketball and tennis, commanding attention, shaping markets, inspiring fans globally, and leaving a lasting imprint on the cultural and business landscape of sports that will define what it means to be a female athlete for decades to come. And in this light, every game, every endorsement, every headline, and every strategic